All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to be going over range and liquidity. So let's get to it. All right. So we're first going to cover liquidity, and then we'll go into ranges. So let's go over the basics types of liquidity. We have the equal lows, known as double bottoms. We have the equal highs, known as double tops. We have trend line liquidity. And by this, it's the retail trend line, the ones that buy after every break of structure, Fibonacci, all that stuff, right? EMA, etc. Then we have highs and lows liquidity. That pretty much is liquidity on every high and on every low, because there is liquidity on every high and every low and every structure point. And then we have SNR liquidity, which is support and resistance liquidity. That's when the market breaks a high or support becomes resistance. The breakout traders pretty much come back, tests, and it goes. This becomes liquidity. So these are the main ones, the main common ones: equal highs, equal lows, trend liquidity, structured liquidity, and then SNR liquidity, support and resistance liquidity, right? And then we have the ones that I'm gonna just call advanced liquidity, which would be external liquidity. So external liquidity, right? That is the end of the range. Or in other words, the high of the range and the low of the range is external liquidity, okay? Is the end of the range, the high or the low of the range. And then everything inside of the range is known as internal liquidity. Okay, internal liquidity, everything inside of the range. And then we have inducement. Inducement. All right. Now, what is inducement? Inducement, you probably heard it before, is a trap. Okay. It is convincing traders to do something. It is convincing traders to long. It is convincing traders to short. Let me give you an example. We have a break of this high, and then let's say we have a beautiful bullish engulfment candle. The retail traders love this. This is their confirmation, right? They will go long right here. So this right here is inducing them to go long. Long on every pullback, bullish engulfment, right? They're longing. Eventually price comes to a stopping point, which for us is our POI. And then what happens, it drops and takes them all out. So let's explain this in another way. It is building up liquidity, right? And it would pause before it comes to a point of interest, an area of interest. It won't hit it. It'll leave a little gap, all right? And then price, for example, here, you see how I broke structure? There are sellers coming in the market in here. There's sellers coming in the market. And then what happens is price pushes up, comes into our POI. And then that's where we short. That is what a inducement is, okay? It is inducing traders to do something that is wrong, which is a trap, right? Now, some people call it a smart money trap. I do not believe it is a smart money trap. That's just my opinion, right? They call it a smart money trap because the people that call it that, either they don't know how to restructure, how to use structure, or don't understand what they're doing, but who knows, right? Who knows? But in my opinion, it's not a smart money trap, because now I'm not saying that we're going to know 100% or that I know 100%, but it wouldn't be a trap if you were able to understand structure and liquidity, if you were able to understand the logic behind it. I mean, if it's building up orders and there's a POI just above you, and we're thinking here logically, right? That's an inducement. There's, let's say, a POI here. It looks so obvious. Everyone shorts, and next thing you know, it takes them out and drops. But what are some signs that could give it away that it's an inducement? Well, one can be something like this, right? There's a POI right here, break of structure. But look, trend line liquidity. You are shorting on the third touch like the retail do. Fibonacci 61.8. You are shorting what the retail do. You are the liquidity. If you don't see it, then you become it. All right. So here's where we start to think, all right? Just a little bit logically. Now, this has nothing to do with what I said in the previous video. You know, trade what you see and you know, not what you think. By this type of thinking, I'm thinking logically. Don't think too hard. It's in front of your face, right? It's right there. Of course, I can't blame you if you don't see in the beginning, which you will with experience. All right, but I'm just talking in general. If this is liquidity and you see it and you got a feeling there's liquidity, it's a high chance it is, right? So eventually you will get signs to let you know that's a trap or an inducement. And then it just goes, then it drops. So that's why I don't believe there's a smart money trap, because if you trade some quote unquote smart money, then you should be where the smart money enters, right? Because the smart money takes out the retail. So again, I'm not here to argue. I'm just here to state my opinions. So, but that's an inducement, guys. It's a trap. All right. So let's go back to where we were. That's the inducement right there. And that will fall into a point of interest somewhere in here. All right. And that gets taken. All right. Gets taken. And then anticipating price to come to the external. So after we take out external, right, we're coming back for internal. After we take out internal, we're going back for external. So far with me? All right. So now let's break that down. And we're still in the topic of liquidity. Just want to introduce this. All right. So before we explain that part right there, let's introduce the ranges real quick, and then we continue from that part, because that's the only way it will make sense. So okay, a strong low is valid